Verse 455. Of the three Svabhavas, one is Parikalpita, mutuality is Paratantra, and Suchness is Parinishpanna. This is always taught by me in this sutra. So this seems quite technical, but if you've been following these videos, you should be quite familiar with these terms. They were spelled out more explicitly back in video 30. And what's the significance of this verse here? Well, as I was addressing in the previous video, emancipation is very much about our relationship with the world. There are three factors here. One is me, the other is the world, and the third is our relationship with it. In its simplest terms, we can understand the Parikalpita as me, and the external world as the Paratantra. This is conventional understanding, the world we believe we live in, the nature of the world we believe we live in. And liberation comes about through understanding the relationship between these two, or at least understanding the misunderstanding, how we misunderstand this relationship. And it's this relationship which is the source of our misunderstandings. Once we see through them, then this is liberation. This is insight, and this ultimately leads to abiding in suchness, which is Parinishpanna. So this verse actually summarizes very much what was spoken of in the previous video. Me here is a mass of habit energy. And these are our moods. This is our moods. It's our psychological disposition, which is constantly being fueled. And it's being fueled by our understanding of the world that we live in. The world as something out there which we have to get something from in order to be happy. This world is described as mutuality. It's the world, sometimes the word relativity is used. It's the world that we relate to, which isn't the world, it's our ideas about the world. We see the world as a lot of things which are related to each other. There's lots of individual things, and these things are somehow connected with each other. So if I want a particular thing, perhaps it's wealth, then there are certain avenues I can go out and approach this goal. I might go and get a certain kind of job, or I might go and start up a certain sort of business, or I might go and hang out with a certain crowd of people, who knows? Because it's all related. There are certain avenues, certain ways of working. There are goals to be achieved, and there are ways of achieving these goals. And that's what I invest my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings, my life in. It can be intensely demanding. This reality that we construct and inhabit. Many of us have what's now called an aspirational lifestyle. This is what drives us. It might not be for our own benefit, but for the benefit of our children. That's how we justify it. This means having a nice house, maybe 1 or 2 cars, making sure the children go to a good school, making sure it's all funded by working very, very hard. Maybe both parents have to work. It takes up all our time. That's our reality. I don't think the planet can sustain aspirational lifestyles. At the moment, I personally am completely downsizing. My wife's a little disappointed because I've been talking about getting a bigger house. We live in quite a small flat. But I can't quite see how we can get a bigger house without me living that aspirational lifestyle, doing something I don't particularly want to do. And me and my wife would hardly see each other because I'll be working all hours. Maybe she will too. Just for a house that we won't be spending much time in. So it's a difficult choice. I think we have to downsize. Live more simply. Try and get all our needs met locally so we're not driving around all over the place. And then we can bring our attention back to ourselves rather than all the constant anxieties and worries which the aspirational lifestyle brings with it. The aspirational lifestyle is also about self-image. I think this is one of the hardest things that I personally had to deal with. I used to be a teacher. I've even lectured at university. But now I'm pushing a mop, serving in a bar. And this is what people see. A hotel night porter. That shouldn't matter to me. This is one of the things which is difficult to get out of. How we think, how we believe other people see us. So it isn't just about the material side of things. There's the ego, the self-image. So to come back to suchness, to come back to Parinishpanna, the wisdom of insight, we really need to give all this up. Give up all this investment in out there. We do enough to get by. And we nourish our inner life. We can enjoy the simple things. A piece of music, a walk in the park. But more fundamentally, start appreciating the nature of our own awareness, which is tied in to the miracle of being alive. It's about tuning in to the intelligence that is apparent. And we can even enter into our own mythology, whether it's a Christian one, a Muslim one, a Buddhist one. All of these things, although I'm no fan of religion, but the one thing I will say is it hints at other possibilities beyond the limited horizons of our own aspirations. And it's important to have this. We can call it a poetic sensibility, or artistic sensibility. So we're developing that side of our being. We respond to the world as artists rather than venal materialists. We appreciate what is free and given in the very situation of being alive, rather than investing our appreciation in all these things that we are conditioned to strive after, things which we don't really need. So we come back to a simpler, more poetic, more artistic mentality. And we enjoy the intelligence of life, the intelligence of awareness, because it's speaking to us. It's speaking to us, asking for acknowledgement. So let's give it space. Let's give it space. Let's enter into life rather than trying to get something out of it. There's no need to try to get something out of it, because so much is given. So much is freely available for us to respond to. There's so much richness in this moment. So why do we spend our lives chasing some kind of second-rate richness?